Today we have a guest star. Our guest is Christina. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. This is going to be our first guest episode, so we're getting there.
We're getting there. Yeah, we're getting there, I think.
We're getting there. Today we're going to be talking about... Today we're going to be talking about the entire platform of Twitch and streaming as it has evolved and kind of become its own platform, kind of in a lot of ways its own form of public theater. Christina actually is a Twitch streamer. I watched a bit of her stream today. It was very entertaining. You guys did a bit on Zelda today.
We sure did. It was pretty crazy. I was playing with my buddy Daniel. If you guys want to follow us, my Twitch name is Sound Shield Maiden. It was pure chaos. Oh my gosh.
And I think I already knew, but I realized that you are as big of a fan of Zelda as I am.
Yes, Zelda is one of my favorite games, specifically Ocarina of Time. One of the first games I've ever played. And so whenever I got into the idea of streaming, my buddy Dylan was like, hey, there are these games that I wanted to play as a kid I never got to. And for him, it was Donkey Kong 64. For me, it was like, oh, I've always wanted to play Legend of Zelda again and stream it and just kind of share that experience with other people. And when I heard my other friend had it on GameCube, I was like, oh my gosh, we should do this together and have this nostalgic feeling and get to hang out with a community of people while playing this game. It's so cool. I love how we can do that.
And what I think is really cool about streaming is you can go back to something that everybody kind of loves and re-experience it as a community together. Like, it was just so cool.
Yeah, it's really awesome that the technology has moved forward to be able to allow us to go backwards and share those things with people. Also, please forgive me. I want to mention this. I was talking about this when we were vamping, but I'm wearing a hot towel around my neck currently, and I have a nice warm tea because I literally just finished our stream, and so my voice gets a little sore because I'm talking for like 4 hours straight.
Yeah,
right?
that's something I didn't even think of when I would watch like streamers on Twitch. Like, yeah, you don't think of like, yeah, you're talking for such a long time.
Because I don't stream just by myself most of the time. I stream with a group of friends, and so my friend Daniel and Michelle and Garrett are all a part of this team that we've created. It's funny because it helps us rest a little bit in between talking, but then we also come up with great ideas of hydrating. We've made hydrating and drinking water this huge thing on our stream, and people are now drinking water like you should be every day.
I was going to say, that's a good message to be sending out to everybody.
It's very,
sure.
we're a very positive group. We've called ourselves Alpha Team Bravo. That's our name. We've been playing a lot of Fortnite, and it's mad chaos. We'll be in the middle of a match or something, and I have a lot of nicknames, but there is a character in Fortnite called Tina who has disappeared, and I have basically taken her place because I love grenades and rocket launchers and all the likes.
Yes.
It's just so much fun. Alpha Team Bravo is such a crazy group, and it's just like we're screaming half the time, and everyone's having a blast. Oh my god.
I love it. That's so fantastic.
Yeah.
I wonder if we've seen you on because Brian and I just got into Fortnite recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, well, I got to do something.
Our friend Jordan and I realized that we both played the game, but like never really played with each other. And then once we started getting into it, I was like, well, we got to get Han on here.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's a really great game.
it's such a great community because it's such an easily accessible game.
Yeah, it's awesome. We actually we've played with a wide variety of people, and that, and I think Animal Crossing was the other big one that we have some sense of community. Those games are they're perfect because they're very family friendly. You can have people
because kind of anybody can pick them up.
Yeah,
and play
it's
them.
like you have a 6-year-old play, or you can have like a 42 or whatever older play. It's nuts. It's really cool. It's fun how Fortnite's just like, okay, just go shoot people. It's so simple. But they make it interesting still.
Yeah, it's got some quirk. It's definitely its own thing.
Do you guys ever play the creative mode that they have? Like the other games that, like, I guess other people other versions?
Yeah, some like indie developers and stuff have sourced their own like game modes into it. There's this creative hub where you can go and then play stuff that other people have built and done. Not necessarily the developers, like the Epic team at Fortnite, but like some indie developers have actually put together game modes and stuff.
Yeah,
it's pretty
so
cool.
We found one where there is this castle. It is amazing. I love this map. I have to figure out what it is. Garrett found it. Oh my god, I had so much fun. I was like such a giddy little girl because you have like the little village in front of the castle, and like this thing's massive, and then there's like a whole like maze in the back, and like someone took the time to like design all of this. It's nuts. It's amazing.
For a free game, like a game that is free. That's just kind of.
I know. It's like I love that people are so dedicated to these kind of things because it really is an escape for people. Just kind of like movies are and music even.
Mm-hmm.
Video games are a major escape, and it's great because it's more interactive than any other platform.
I just saw the other day somebody made an MS-DOS computer inside the online platform of Minecraft that you can actually go up, sit at it, and play Doom within Minecraft.
Of
Within
course
the
you
game?
can. Oh my god, that's amazing.
My mind immediately went to that episode of The Office where Dwight's sitting there and he made Second Life inside of Second Life. We've hit such a level of meta.
I
can't
love
even
that
deal
in
with.
The Office too, that he was always only like assistant regional manager. He wasn't even owning the airline or whatever it was. Wow, they just encompass this character so perfect.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like I've had people say that they won't watch The Office, which is mind blowing to me because it's so funny. But at that show, everybody has worked in that place. Everybody knows all these people in the real world. It's relatable as hell. Like
it's such a good show. It's fantastic. Fun fact, I've never played Minecraft. Yeah.
Really?
Neither have I.
I dabbled for a little bit.
I've definitely,
but I never really. It's one of those ones that you kind of fall off.
Yeah, I've seen it a lot. I understand what it's about, but I haven't. I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things for me. I'm like, I haven't been invited. Like no one invited me, and I'm also like, I don't care enough because it's just. I kept telling people when it first came out, I'm like, is this the guys' version of Sims? And guys are like, no, like you're building stuff and like you have to like go fight these creepers and whatnot, but like it's different. And I'm like, okay, so you're still.
It's pretty accurate.
Yeah, and I'm like,
it's
so
the
you're
guy's
still
version.
you're still building stuff and you're like get to live out a life in this place, right? And they're like, well yeah, and I'm like, well, that's like Sims. Like,
I think time's just moving faster.
Yeah, I have no concept.
Well, it's like with me, I still have trouble. Like, I'll think like the 90s were like 4 or 5 years ago, and then I have to be like, oh no, it was decades ago.
Oh right, I'm old.
Yep. Oh my god, it's wild to think that. Wait, I just want to be a kid again, and like I don't think anything of it. I'm just doing the things and like playing video games and being on Twitch and everything. It's just so weird to me because I'm like, you know what being adult really is? It's getting to do the things that you wanted to as a kid, but you pay for it. When I said that to myself, I was like, oh, that hurts. Yep. I'm an extrovert, okay? Like, I need people. I need human interaction.
I don't think I've realized how extroverted I actually am.
You are.
I've always considered myself an introvert, but I really am understanding now that is not the truth.
Yeah. No, I think ever since I've known you, because you would say that you're an introvert, and like I feel like people would like sort of agree with you, but you love hanging out with people.
I do. I really enjoy being with people and talking and getting into social situations, but I also like my bubble. I like climbing into my own little world and doing my own thing when I need to.
So you're like an ambivert.
I think I'm kind of a
hybrid.
hybrid.
You're an ambivert. And I can be too. And I always say, I'm an extrovert living in an introvert's world. Just being streaming and everything because I get to be in the comfort of my own home. I can wear a robe if I want to, like I am right now. And have a hot towel around my neck and tea and just chat with people. And it's great because it's a way to bring a community together and to get to meet new people as well. I love it. It's amazing.
So let me ask you, actually, when exactly did you start streaming?
So I actually had like 2 start points of streaming. So the first time I streamed ever was on my birthday back in April. It was really fun. I was playing Portal because it's such a great game. It was one of those.
I love Portal.
Right?
I have still yet to play it.
Han.
I've been nagging you to do it.
I know. I got to get on it.
Han, if I had to recommend like a single video game for you to play that like you could do in a day, like a small amount of time, it'd be Portal. Because I think it only takes like 3 or 4 hours to beat.
Yeah, if you hustle and like don't get super into the difficulty with it, like you can crush it.
Yeah, the first game's different too. Like the second one's a lot longer. But it was just a perfect first stream kind of thing because it's a puzzle game and you're kind of figuring out the world as you go. It was just like, this was great. I got to like learn the complexities of Twitch in general and like, okay, what the heck how do I go live? Like what the heck's chat? How does this work? Like really basic stuff. I had no idea. Or like changing my scene. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, what do you got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was really fun and I streamed for a little bit. I played a couple other games. I started playing The Witcher 3.
Nice.
Such a great game.
I played Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, which is honestly, that game I seriously, it changed me. I never thought
Really?
I'd feel that way about something.
I was that way with 2 games,
Okay.
actually. I don't know if you've ever played Limbo.
No, I've heard of it though.
It's a side scroller. I can't recommend that game enough. That's one that like I really got into the darkness of. It's like a super dark and creepy and terrifying.
Is that the one where it's all like black and white and like you're kind of like in the shadows?
It's one I don't really want to spoil too much,
Yeah.
but I can definitely send my recommendation.
I have a list. I added it.
Also, I feel like I was like fundamentally changed by the first Last of Us. I thought that they were both great, but the first one like actually rewired my emotions a little bit.
Thank you for bringing that up, because I actually just finished watching a playthrough of that. I literally sat the other day.
I love that game.
For 10 hours. And it was like a no commentary, like someone just played the game straight through. Because I was like, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
I remember watching my brother play it when it first came out. But I think I came in halfway through because I heard something about Pittsburgh. And then, I'm like, oh yeah, Pittsburgh.
I think for the first game, that's one of the most fascinating things about it, because it literally, like the whole point, like the whole story itself is literally they're journeying across the face of like a decimated version of the United States.
It was so well done.
And it's like everybody kind of sees their home, like so many different cities are visited in the game, so many different cities in our real world see their home city, a post-apocalyptic situation, and it's like it was such a unifying experience for a lot of people, because it's like really felt like this daunting experience of like a hell world as like a whole nation.
You know what was wild too is just kind of seeing when you do get there, it's not just like the environment itself, it's like the people changed too, and you're like, oh my gosh, like these people are doing what when you get there?
The emotional toll on these characters, like it's just to absorb. It's so like there's all these other things coming out with now that the second game is dropped, but I'm like that first game came as close as anything can, I think, within a video game to breaking you emotionally. Like, because like you have to do like the way it's written and the way the gameplay unfolds. It's like you feel all these things that are happening to these characters just that little bit more because you're actually performing these actions.
Yeah, no, it was beautiful. I've been wanting to talk about that with people because I'm like, I know that The Last of Us Part 2 came out, but like let's talk about part 1 still, because I think that was just so well done.
I love that it came out in 2013 and we're like I still know people who talk about it like it came out yesterday.
It's phenomenal. Like it's so fresh in my mind right now. But like that's how I felt about Hellblade, because it's dealing with psychosis and people who have mental health issues, and I love how they not only go into that and the mental aspect of it, but the history of Vikings. Like I'm a big Viking fan in general, and just like learning about their history.
I can tell from both your Instagram, the pictures that you've sent us, like it's very, very apparent, and I love it.
I have for anyone that hasn't seen those, I have a massive Viking shield hanging on my wall with 2 axes and a sword, and I also have like a helmet and everything, and I have like Viking horn mugs and whatnot. It's crazy. I just like learning about that history because it's not really recorded much, because it was all vocal and verbal history and language, versus everyone else, you can read up going back in history because they wrote these things down, and what you know about the Vikings is what somebody else told you about it, which is so fascinating to me. But what Hellblade does is not only does it look into that and kind of like looking into what a tribe would be, or you have the chieftain or whatever, the idea of a Gelt. And a Gelt is someone who has some kind of sickness, some kind of mental health issue that made them a little too crazy to be around people. So what they would do is go on a quote unquote journey into the woods, where basically their tribe would kind of abandon them in the woods and tell them like, go figure this out, get rid of these demons inside of you, and then you can come back. And so we're following this character, Senua. Her tribe, her people, her village have been completely wiped out. Like she comes back and her lover, Dillian, has been killed in the form of a blood eagle, which is like, oh my god, it's so gnarly, and it just hits you emotionally. But the entire time too, she hears voices in her head, and the way they design this is using a binaural microphone. And so the way they record, they had performers literally going like right up into the microphone like this and like whispering and stuff, and then they had people like shouting way back here. But it was like such an intimate experience because you can feel it like in your left ear, like someone breathing in it. Oh my god. And it's the entire entire game, and you're exhausted by the end of it.
Yeah, it can't help but appreciate such a strong attention to detail and sound design like that, because I think that sound is the quickest way to get inside the head of your audience. Like,
yeah.
You have sold me on this game, by the way.
I was going to say, yeah, you had me, like, totally.
And, like, the motion... Oh, I'm so glad. And, like, the motion capture that they used, too, for Senua, like, here's what's amazing is they got the one of the editors that was working on it is the actress for it. They needed someone to kind of stand in and fill in. And they're like, oh, hey, would you like to just... I think her name's Melinda or Millennia. It starts with an M. I'm butchering it right now. But she was literally, like, the editor that became the actress in it because she was just so good and so perfect for this role. And I was like, that's amazing.
That's awesome.
You know, to go from being
so cool
behind the scenes to right in front of camera like that. But dude, play it. That's another like 8-hour experience. The first time I played it, it was like 8 p.m. and I decided I need to finish this game. I need to do it in one sit-in. It changed me because of that.
Is it only for like a PC game? Is it for
it's definitely Xbox. It's Xbox and I believe
PlayStation or
Can you play it on PC? Let me look it up. Yeah, you can play it on PS4.
Yeah, because you have me pretty sold
I gotta say
now.
that's impressive that they.
You can play it on Steam. Yeah, you can play this.
You can play it on Steam.
Yeah,
okay. It sounds like they did their homework too, like with the world of the Vikings and like making sure.
Yes.
That they got it as accurate as they could, especially considering much of their history they didn't preserve in writing. It was told through someone else who interacted with them.
And the creators of the game have an entire behind the scenes feature film and various clips and shorts throughout the process of making it too, which makes it even more engaging, I think, for the viewer. Because like you go and have this experience and you're like, oh my gosh, what went into this? And you hear about it and you're like, oh my God, I like applauding them, like, good job.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah. I have to fight getting games. Like I keep them on the back burner and I like try and like mentally check out and forget because I can't keep up with all of them. There's just way too many. But one that I did pull the trigger on, I convinced myself that I was going to get 2 big games, and that was Death Stranding, which I played through and was absolutely phenomenal. And then I got Last of Us 2. I couldn't stop myself. Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding is a phenomenal game. It has a lot of the same kind of themes as Last of Us, post-apocalyptic situation, but it's kind of like humanity's last stand, trying to gain grips with like this clash of the ethereal plane where the afterlife is reclaiming the world. Hideo Kojima undoubtedly proved his mastery with that game, I think.
That's amazing. By the way, I sent you a text. Ignore that.
Okay.
It's my parents' dog. She's really cute. I meant to send that to somebody else, but there you go.
Adorable. Oh
Her
my
name's
God.
Coco. So spoiled, and I love her.
She doesn't look it. She looks very humble in this photo.
My mother watches my streams, and so does my brother. My family actually comes to watch my streams, and everyone loves my mom's dog Coco, and so she sends me like daily photos of her, and now you have one. So there you go.
I love it.
That's so great though that your family comes
I
to
know.
watch the streams, because that was always something for me. Video games sometimes get that rap of being like an isolating, especially like a 1-player game. It's just you and the screen, no one else around you. But back in the day, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, I can remember when my parents would allow us to take the game. We just had it in our bedroom and hook the system up to the big screen out in the living room, which of course was smaller than the TV screens are today. For some strange reason, it was one of the few things that brought my family together in one room. I don't know why. It was either because we were playing the video games and like my mother and my grandmother were very interested in it and wanted to play with us, or it was like my dad who just enjoyed making fun of us for playing it, or would like, tease us about it. But yeah, it was always weird. Like I had like a really special experience with video games in that they really created great memories for me when I was little, and it brought just my whole family together. Why? Couldn't tell you though.
No, that's so awesome though. And I think it's really cool that our generation got to experience it in that format. And so I think that's kind of how I approached Twitch, because what happened was I was playing all these single player games and I don't know, like what didn't feel right. And so I ended up I stopped streaming for like a month or so. And then I finally joined back up when my friend Michelle was like, hey, I'm doing this gaming video. I'm learning Fortnite. First time I'm ever playing video games and I'm learning Fortnite. I'd love to, play with you if you're down. And I'm like, oh my God, yes, so in. Let's do it. We've been streaming for about, I don't know, like 2 months now, maybe 3. Who knows? No, it's 2.
Time doesn't mean anything anymore
at all. Yeah. I looked at it like, oh, this could be a new way to just kind kind of get back into it. Michelle created her channel, and Garrett was, he was going to be a part of that anyway. And then we got our friend Daniel to join in eventually because we were playing with a couple other people at the time. The first time I was streaming on my birthday was literally a way for me to hang out with my brother again because he's in the East Coast and I'm in the West.
That's great.
So I would always watch him play video games. And then this was my way of like, hey, I'm going to play because I know at 5 o'clock he ends his work day and he's going to eat dinner. And every day he watches somebody play video games during that time. And I'm like, hey, pick me this time to watch. So I hogged that time from him. But it's been great to spend that time with him and, hang out with my parents too. Just show them like, hey, here's not just a whole new world of things to do and watch, but like, here are my friends and watch us hang out and have a fun time. And
yeah, kind of let them into your world a little bit.
And it's like, I love how it brings people together like that.
There's that sense of community that I've noticed Twitch brings that you don't seem to get in many other places, which I think is really special about the streamers and the people who interact with them in the chat.
Yeah, and Han, you've actually watched a lot more Twitch than I have. I mean, I've watched some key people, but you watch a good few people.
Well, yeah, there's a few that I follow, but a lot of them like I discovered on YouTube almost as like an archive, I guess. They'll like put up, streams that they've done in the past. For the longest time, I didn't realize Twitch even existed for a while till like they started mentioning, hey, come follow on Twitch and watch it live. And I was like, oh, you mean this is a thing? It's really interesting, like you said, because like it's that live interaction.
Yeah.
Brings back that nostalgic sort of feel that you had when you were playing games back in the day, when you like rented them, like Mario Kart.
Yes.
I do love the ease of access in Twitch too, because when you go in, you can kind of look at a page of activities that are going on or a page of games or what have you, and it's like, oh, I want to look at this thing, and then I find it very easy to catch on to streamers on topics that I relate to. And like the first time I looked it up was when I was considering getting Last of Us. I started watching a bunch of streams of people who were playing it, and I was like, I need to stop because I want to actually like play this game and enjoy it, and then I'm going to come back and like participate and like talk about this in the community. And I was like, got to learn all these people love this game as much as I do. It was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, and it's not just, what is funny to me is for how big of a community it is, we still think it's like such a small world until we realize like, oh, I'm talking to people who are consistently coming and showing up that are from France and Switzerland and like South America and Singapore and, other parts of the States and just other parts of Europe, the Netherlands. And I'm like, what? This is nuts to me. And they're there and they're consistently showing up. Friendships are forming. And it's really interesting too, like you were saying, Han, with YouTube, it's like, yeah, that can be edited and the interactions you get are like people can comment on the video, but it's nothing real time. And so for people to consistently come back to that, form friendships even within the chat, like sometimes I don't need to do anything. There's like 3 people just chatting away with one another. It's so funny.
And there's something so authentic about the live platform, I think, too, because it's like you can't fake it.
Yeah, and one thing too, it's been really cool, and I think kind of, I don't know if it's unique or not. I really am trying to be like as authentic as possible, and I think Michelle and Garrett and Daniel are doing the same thing as well, because this is live. Sure, you kind of put on a bit of a show to an extent.
Yeah, you want to make it enjoyable, but
yesterday I just was like in a crappy mood, and I'm like, hey guys, sorry, I'm in a crappy mood, so hold on, there's a train.
There you go. Hey, you gotta own it, right?
I'm a sound person. I care about these things.
Yeah.
I think too, what's nice about like when someone, because some of the streamers I watch, they'll say the same thing, like, oh, it's just a bad day. But the people in chat like are like right there to the rescue. Even being like, hey, if you don't feel good or it's a bad day, you don't have to worry about the stream. We understand, it's okay.
Oh,
I think that's what's so incredible. Is like, obviously, I'm sure, I don't know if you've ever have you run into like any people who are trolling in the chat or like spammers?
Oh my God,
like,
yeah. So I had no idea what a moderator was. What's been great is having somebody like Michelle, she's a YouTuber, Michelle Kare, everyone kind of knows about her. She has over 2 million subscribers. And so when
the jaw just dropped. Sorry.
I know. And so whenever she went over to Twitch, she was able to she has like over 3,000 followers on Twitch within a matter of weeks. We're like, what? This is nuts. But it's great because
that's crazy.
We kind of learned quickly and we've been able to grow quickly as well as a group. And we're like, what the heck's a moderator? Like, what are channel points? What are like all these things? And these people are coming in to help and support us. And so we had someone, I didn't know what Discord was like 2 months ago. I'm like, what the heck is this thing now? Like, I got to get a whole nother app to like work this thing. What's a Streamlab? What's an OBS? What? So it was really great. It's been really great to have these people who are moderators that like, they know about all of this. And some of them are like, I live to be a mod. And I'm like, this is great. And what they do is they get these cute little icons that are swords on Twitch. And so you can see if somebody is a moderator when they comment. And so we have other people looking out in the chat for us because, we can't look at it every second. And it's really hard to catch that kind of stuff. So it's nice to have a team that they're like volunteering to be there. We're not getting any money from this, and they're not either. So it's great to have people just who genuinely care and genuinely like want to make sure you have fun, and they're there to keep you safe too.
Yeah, it's just another level of community building too. It's like there's not just the people coming in and you're making friends within like the chat and the stream, but it's like there's also the people behind the actual production that like you're making lifelong friends, it seems, with.
Yeah, no, we have this guy Othaniel. He created this entire Discord, but like he is a master wizard moderator. He's so amazing. And then we have Valeron, who's from Switzerland. He's really great because he gives us a lot of good tips and advice because he streams as well. And he's like, oh, this is kind of what I've experienced. And then we also have a couple other mods. We have Tessa, who's from Ohio, and she's just this badass. She's amazing. She's so encouraging and inviting to people. And someone from Singapore who will stay awake. She will wake up at 3 a.m. to watch our streams. And I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, you okay? She's honestly, I feel like the biggest cheerleader I've ever had. She's so supportive, and she's just like, everyone's great. Like, you're all amazing. I'm proud of you guys. And I'm like,
that's awesome.
Oh my goodness. It's amazing that you're even awake right now. Like, thank you for sacrificing your sleep to be here.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, I know myself in general, like I'm always up watching some silly thing at some ungodly hour, and that's awesome that like people are actually rallying around you, and that stuff is being used towards a positive end.
Yeah, and what we do too is we've definitely learned like who our audience is, and after over time, as you start to grow and see who becomes a bit more of a regular, it's easier to kind of start to cater towards their time. And so what we've done is created a schedule where we stream as a full group of Alpha Team Bravo. We will stream 3 times a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. and then on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. so that anyone that is on a different time zone, they can catch that stream. On Fridays today we will stream just Daniel and I, and we'll do our like retro rewind. We'll play all these old games, and right now we're just going through Ocarina of Time for the next couple of weeks, which is it's just great that we can do that.
Yeah, you're now making me want to go back through Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, right? Dude, you should. It's so good. There's so much I forgot about it, and it's great to be able to play in a way like that's easy enough to do it as a solo game, but to be able to play this with my friend Daniel, like his whole Twitch channel is ddouchebaggins, is his username, with like rainbow poops.
Oh my God.
And so people call us. It's amazing.
That's so great. Yeah, I've seen a couple of your Insta stories and stuff of it's like gamer, and I'm like, oh, it's so
right?
good.
It's pretty great. But yeah.
That's so nice that now when you guys do like the stream together, are you both streaming separately? If I were to like look it up on on Twitch, I forgot the name of the thing there for a second. Oh no, put me away, Brainbart. It's too late. You're gonna have to hire
Lock him
someone
up.
else.
Put him in the box.
Do you guys are you streaming on one? Like I see sometimes with like D&D, people are all like they're separate cameras, but they're all on one stream together. Are you guys doing it sort of like that, or is it more that you're both streaming separately but like linked through like Discord or something like that?
Yeah, so part of the chaos that comes with what we do is especially whenever all 4 of us are playing, we all stream at the same time, and that's what makes it fun. And there are a couple of different ways you can actually watch all 4 streams at once. And so there's this website called Multi-Stream. So you just put whatever streams you want to put in, and you can say, okay, multi-stream. So what we do is we have timed things in our chat or commands that someone can press of like, exclamation point multi, and then boom, the link for the multi-stream pops up so you can see everyone's different streams simultaneously. And so we usually tell them like, hey, pick one person to listen to their audio, and then you can just see all of our different mic angles when we're playing something like Fortnite. Or if Daniel and I are racing, you can have both of our screens right up next to each other. And for the most part, I feel like they're fairly synced up. Obviously, there's a little lag here and there, but having that audio from one person makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
What we would love to do, it's called co-streaming. So there's a difference between co-streaming versus multi-streaming. Multi-stream is for affiliates or anyone else that is like us that are very wee lads and new to the whole streaming thing, and we can't, we're not what's called a partner. And so what Twitch will do is they'll partner up with certain streamers, and if you are a partner, people can actually co-stream together where viewers can then select which screen to look at, but it's all like one channel. I'm still figuring that out, but we're not there yet. It's gonna be a while.
I was gonna say you guys are definitely still building your platform and getting there. So like I think you're allowed to have a climbing period.
Oh, totally. But we've been able to figure out a way for people to watch all four of us at once, and it's great because we kind of have our screen set up pretty similarly so that you can just look. Okay, here's everyone right there, and it's worked for the most part pretty well on mobile and laptops and iPads and everything, and you can actually toggle through the chats too within one screen instead of like having to go to each person's page. So there's been a couple bugs, but for the most part it's been great, and people have been enjoying that for sure because they're like, wow, this is pure chaos.
As long as you own it.
Oh yeah, we really are the most chaotic group, I think, on Twitch right now. No, probably not, but that I know of, because I don't know very many people.
Yeah. Now, I know you guys do play D&D. Have you done any streaming of playing D&D yet?
We have not. We've been trying to convince Garrett to do that because he and his writing partner Nick Hurd have just finished writing and preparing their campaign, complete homebrew. They've been working on it for 2 years. It's
Wow.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
Yes, and I want to witness it, and I'm like, Garrett, can you please record this? Can you please stream this? And he wants to, but the problem is like it's his very first time running it, and he wants to be, like they want to focus
that's fair.
on
I can
that.
understand that.
So we're like, is there a way we can do like a recap or something, because it just sounds incredible.
Yeah.
We've been talking about doing something like that in the near future, but right now we're kind of sticking to video games and just figuring out what route we want to take soon, because pretty soon Michelle is actually going to be adding a new channel on YouTube, and it's going to be a pure gaming channel.
Nice.
We're really excited about that, and it's going to be, just lots more gaming happening pretty soon.
Yeah, because me and Han are huge D&D nuts. We love all things
I love D&D.
I follow Critical Role and all their dealings and all their craziness, and like I just want to infect the world with D&D and get more people playing it.
Well, it's such a great writing exercise too. I like it for that as well. That's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
Is like, come up with a character and tell a story together.
Yeah.
Which I was always like, man, why didn't we play some D&D back in Point Park when we were trying to do some writing?
Yeah, that was a mistake that we didn't.
They need to have like a whole class. Like you just play D&D for the semester. Cool. Great.
I agree.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah, I'd be all about that.
It's such a great, writing exercise for sure.
Yeah, because I think what's really interesting, like what I've always liked about D&D, was that it sort of encourages you to make characters that aren't overpowered, or like, like you can't have someone that can just do it all. You kind of have to give up something, if you want to be have more wisdom, but then you got to take away some of the strength. You want to play that character and play into their like faults, their strengths and weaknesses to help tell the better story, which I think is really interesting and unique to D&D.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's great.
Have either of you guys looked into Wyrmwood at all? Wyrmwood
Oh my God, yes. Ugh, I need to not, because they just make amazing stuff.
I've on more than one occasion fallen down the spiral of their YouTube channel, because it is like they are a fascinating company to watch, because they literally just like film all the good and bad that happens behind their closed doors. And it's actually funny that it's actually gotten them into several borderline lawsuit situations, because like they literally show almost all their business dealings on their YouTube channel.
No, they do. They are very open book. For sure.
And I love it. I love how open and honest they are. It's just I have never seen anything quite like that.
Yep.
And it's all like completely wrapped around like all the same kind of stuff that I love. Like they have in their workshop, because I should explain what they actually do. They're a company that make peripherals for D&D gameplay. So like they have all kinds of dice vaults and stuff, all kinds of DM screens.
It's the toy store.
Yeah, exactly. They just like have all kinds of nerd stuff in their company. Like they run Harry Potter houses to compete for points in their actual shop, and it's just like it's funny how like they get super competitive about like the most nerdy stuff, and like it's like you watch that YouTube channel and you're like, I want to go learn woodworking and work for these people. So like,
Yes, 100%. I very much am like, if I wasn't a sound designer and making movies, like that's what I would want to do. If, you know, Twitch becomes my main job and, you know, I can do something like play video games Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and then Wednesdays and Fridays are like a Critical Role style, like D&D, like who wouldn't love that, you know? And
yeah.
I love that I get to do this with my friends. Like I think that's been more important for me than the like quote unquote business side of things, because I'm like, I could do literally anything I would want in terms of streaming, but doing it with friends and having a particular subject is just makes it way more fun.
Yeah.
But like
that's interesting that you bring that up. Like one of the streamers I follow, he actually does it now full time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what's interesting is like, I think the job he had before, I think it was an engineering job. He made money wise, he made a lot more than he does on Twitch, but he chose to do Twitch because he was like, you know, I had to take a pay cut, but it was worth it. He thought like, if I get to play, you know, games every day and, you know, hang out with the community. So
yeah,
I think that's a testament to what you said, how like, yeah, who wouldn't want
right
to be able to do that for a living?
I'm like, listen, give me that, or like I'll work at some kind of, what's the word, like a brewery or something, because I like beer just as much, you know. I'm like,
and around town, I know Han and I have talked about this quite a bit. There've been a ton of breweries popping up in Pittsburgh. It's nuts.
I've noticed that.
Yeah.
What are some good ones? What are some new ones?
Wiggle Whiskey, not all that long ago, kicked off and
Okay.
started their whole thing up. There's just been tons and every time I blink, it's like there's 5 more.
Yep. Yeah. I've definitely become a really big fan of stouts lately. That's my go-to. And yeah.
I get the dang dryer machine. I can't.
That's so funny.
It's a squeaky boy.
I keep hitting the mute button on and off. Like I've been doing that like the whole
Strategically trying to isolate.
When I'm not talking, I've been hitting the mute button, and I'm like, I'm so embarrassed.
Somebody farting. Who has a high pitched fart back there?
I'm so embarrassed
Shut up,
right
we're
now.
trying to do a show here.
I'm in front of a professional sound designer, and here the dryer keeps going off in the background.
Oh my god. Oh no, I definitely hear it. Yeah, you're doing great. I'm proud of you.
Well, thank you.
From my end, it sounds like it's something that would be really easy for me to clean up just as a sound person, because I'm only hearing the really high-end squeaky, but I'm guessing there's a lot more coming in. But that, you know, it's fine.
Well, it is just the high-end squeaky, but like it fluctuates. Like, see, now it's not doing it.
Yeah, it goes.
It's something with the belt.
Ee.
Yeah, and then it'll just. And every time I'm like, oh, okay, I think it stopped. I can unmute again, and then it comes back, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be super embarrassed for you to watch the show too now, because like I'm gonna be like, I'm
there it is.
Sound design work in front of a pro.
Oh my god,
it's gonna make me look bad.
I can show you the ways. I call it reverse Bob Ross painting.
Yes.
Have you found there's a Bob Ross?
Some happy little audio trees.
That was one of the things that got me into Twitch too. Was there's a Bob Ross channel? Like it's just shows all his old.
You know, I know of this, and it's great. It's so relaxing. And he's just, God, what a happy man. But yeah, it's cool.
Infectious spirit.
Mm-hmm. And what's cool is like Twitch. You know, everyone really always assumes that it's just for video games, but it really is for any kind of medium out there. You know, there's been a couple times I've done just chatting where it's like, hey, we're literally gonna talk for like 4 hours if you guys are cool with that. Cool, sweet. And then there's things like baking. They have, you know, all kinds of culinary stuff. You can do, what's the word, you can make alcohol.
Oh, they have people that
like bartender stuff, but not What's the word for that?
Mixology?
Thank you.
Yep. I had to think. I was right there with you.
My brain is not working right now. Yes, they have a whole like mixology thing. And and it's really cool how many different types of things are out there for people. There's music only. Like some people will have a band and they'll play music together. And I'm like, that's cool to me.
That's real cool.
Like, make
I've
stuff
seen
up.
like a lot of people do like, they'll do like DJing is another one I see a lot of. That'll come out. Podcasts on there. One that like gets me, I guess I just don't grasp it, is the ASMR.
Yeah, that's another big thing.
That's probably the only one that I'm like, what is this? I still don't. I guess it's just like, is it someone just doing like noises? Is that essentially what it is? Or I don't even know, what does ASMR stand for? I don't know. Is it like audio sensory something? I don't know.
That sounds good.
I don't know if it's supposed to be like something like that just relaxes
it's not
people
just
or like the noises.
It's not just like someone going like, hey, what's up there? You know. That's all I could come up with. No, like literally, like people do ASMR for like a controller, so you could just be like, I'm glad you guys actually stopped and listened to that.
Of course I did.
I had to. I was like, let me see what this is
It's
about.
like people find that soothing.
You set it up so well, I couldn't
deny it. People find that to be so soothing for some reason.
Yeah, it sounds like almost like a what's the term?
I've seen entire ones of like somebody just taking a note, like here's my leather notebook.
I look at it.
You get a free ASMR session with your podcast.
There you go. You're welcome, guys. That's free 99. The way I look at ASMR is very much like, I'm a sound designer, so I'm like always trying to like ASMR is what I do for my job, because I'm literally like grabbing something and I'm like, okay, how do you like work? And I like bang things together and I hope for the best. I'm like, what does this? Good. That good. Okay. And like I just make weird sounds all the time, and so I'm like, ASMR is just showing like what I just do for a job, and I don't know, it's funny to me.
And there's an audience. Well, it almost looks like someone took like the Foley artist idea, and just said, I'm just going to do it live.
Exactly. And you know, people found a way to make that meditative and a relaxing experience. It's kind of similar as, say you were going to record the sound of like a river flowing, and you're at like a lake and you have the trees coming by and the wind blowing through and like you hear the crunch of footsteps or whatever. I was talking about that a lot on Michelle and Garrett's podcast. ASMR is just a very specific version of that. Like, let's just focus on one thing and like make that relaxing, because I don't know, sounds are weird.
Sounds are very weird.
Oh, speaking of sounds,
it's really making itself present. That was
too like
perfect.
Brian, I think you mentioned it earlier. Like, I think maybe was Spielberg had this quote where like an audience will be more quick to dismiss a movie if the sound isn't working, as opposed to if like the picture's not there. You know what I mean? Like,
100%.
You know, and I think that's really interesting about how powerful sound is when it comes specifically to like a visual, like, you know,
I think you said
Twitch,
that backwards,
gaming.
But yes.
Did I say it backwards?
I think you said, because they're quicker to dismiss bad sound, because they're not. They're quicker to dismiss bad picture than bad sound.
Okay. Yes.
Because
yes.
Yeah, because it's the thing is, you can always close your eyes, but you can't close your ears.
Exactly.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, and I've noticed it too. Like, I've one movie, Mother. Actually, like a lot of people ragged on that movie, but like if nothing else, you have to like own up that movie has unbelievable sound design.
I have not seen Mother.
It has like this. There's some scenes that have this like deep, echoey, like you almost get lost in like the mix, and I'm just like so as much blown away by an extremely good mix as I am by something that's extremely well shot.
Me too, buddy.
And I don't hear enough people talking about that, because I've heard some mixes that have genuinely blown me away.
Me too, buddy. We gotta talk more.
We definitely do.
Yeah, no, but it's really cool how much content is out there and how easy it is for people to interact in such an instant way on Twitch versus something like a YouTube or like Spotify or Soundly or any of these other types of platforms.
Well, yeah, and I've heard, like, again, with the streamers I follow, I think, like, a lot of them maybe started on YouTube, or at least before there was this whole live gaming thing. They would put up, like, playthroughs, walkthroughs, and they built their audience. And then a lot of them have said, at least in their streams, that they feel Twitch is more creator and community friendly. Like it's easier for you to interact and work with your community and your audience as opposed to YouTube now.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with that, and definitely commend the people that have taken the time to put that together. And there was Mixer was alive for a while too. That was another way people were streaming, but that died.
Yeah, I remember. I think Han and I did a few of those.
Yeah.
A while back.
Yeah, Mixer died.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Did we do
We
those?
did, yeah. We did some stuff with Brandon, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yes, we did. Okay, yeah.
Well,
I peaked there. Oh, God.
It feels simultaneously so long ago and like it was last week.
Mm-hmm.
Again, time means nothing anymore. We're living in a strange age.
I know. I have to like wake up and remind myself. It's today. Today is today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you said it, man.
I had a whole thing with Ashley Johnson. She's had this kind of crazy career where she's kind of navigated in and out of the Hollywood eye and in with the online community. So like she's kind of drudged up into this Critical Role situation where she's online playing D&D. She does a lot of playthroughs of stuff. I know she did a big long series playing through Inside, which was the sister project of LIMBO, which I found one of the ways I actually caught on to her.
Oh, this is triggering my memory. I started playing Inside yesterday, and I was like, I feel like I've seen this before. Why do I feel like I've seen this recently? This is a good game.
Yeah.
And I was like, have I played this? Maybe I have and I don't remember it. Like, did I stream this? I don't know. Anyway. And yeah, she did. You're right. That was where I saw it.
Yeah, and she's just had a crazy all over the place career, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
She had a bit part in the Avengers that was originally written and performed as a longer piece where actually Captain America and her character fall in love, but they kind of like pulled that whole storyline out of it to a large extent. She was just kind of like this small little character in like the final cut of the movie, but
wait,
she's still
is she the restaurant girl?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I never realized that.
Yeah, she was gonna be Steve Rogers' love interest post Peggy Carter.
Oh my God, I never knew that. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because there's a whole like scene they deleted where he, I think, right?
Yeah, after he rescues her, there's like this whole thing that they get into that they were gonna stretch into like Winter Soldier and a few other things, but they went in a different direction. But
this is totally off topic. So, spoilers if no one's seen the Marvel movies. Was he always married to Carter that whole time in that time loop?
That's how I
is that how we're supposed to take it?
Ooh, yeah.
There are little subtle hints that that's the case, but they're all things that can work in another direction.
Okay.
Like in Winter Soldier, she references her husband. Also in First Avenger, she mentions that Steve Rogers saved a bunch of people, and then including the man that eventually become my husband. And it's like, okay, is that an allusion to himself? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a whole side thing.
Yes.
But yeah, that if you follow that thread through the whole MCU, because it's like one of those things that they have played so carefully to fit from like multiple different angles. But
interesting.
Yeah, real cool stuff. I love all the time travel stuff.
Yeah.
And also as I keep subtly plugging away in the podcast, and we're inevitably going to do a Dark episode, but I love Dark and I love time travel and I love anything that deals with time travel. I will talk about time travel till I'm blue in the face.
Yeah, I've only seen season 1 of that show, but it was good.
Tell Han to watch it because I've been nagging him for 3 years.
I know. Well, hey, I got my imaginary kids to tuck in at night.
Exactly.
So, I got this.
And I get it. You got your responsibilities.
I got my responsibilities here, man. Okay?
Nice.
It's really hard doing that. Okay, so let's.
Incredible.
I think I'm just so afraid it's gonna because it's dark.
It's gonna become reality.
Like, yes, yes. I'm like, oh God, what else can happen now? I'm just like,
yeah.
So that's why I'm like going back to like things I've already seen, and I'm like, okay, I know what to expect. I know what's gonna happen. Whereas in Dark, I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I at the risk of going down a whole time travel spiral, I'm gonna move on.
Yes.
But,
save that for another day.
Oh, we were talking about Ashley Johnson. Yeah, so she did that, and then along the way through all of that chaos, she got involved with Naughty Dog and Neil Druckmann to do the first Last of Us. She was much older than Ellie, the character she was playing, but she has such an innocent and youthful sounding voice that it works so perfectly.
Everyone in Critical Role is a phenomenal voice actor and actress. Like,
oh my God,
let me tell you. And it's really impressive just to see how they can do. It's like some of the most subtle things with their voices, and It's been funny because we've had a lot of people just comment, because we just make weird sounds all the time on our streams on Twitch, and they're like, you guys should actually do voice acting. Hilariously enough, like I've somehow slowly started to find that community, just because, you know, I had a couple people reaching out to me, or just in general, they're like, hey, here's my voiceover thing, like what do you guys think? And someone would comment something and they're like, oh, like they're just trying to figure out like, how do I get rid of a mouth clicking and popping? And me, like I do audio for a living, I'm just like, oh, it's, you know, just a quick little scuba da boosh and you're done. And they're like, what? Tell me more. It's just really funny. So I've been like been able to,
what is this new devilry?
I know, I've been able to like meet some really cool people just in the voiceover community, and it made me really appreciate someone like Ashley Johnson more, and literally the entire Critical Role team, because they are all phenomenally talented. Like Laura Bailey is also like amazing what she can do with her voice. Like, wow.
Their whole platform for getting those types of people involved is such a genius thing.
Mm-hmm.
For playing D&D, it just sucks you down into that world building, just that extra little bit.
Yeah.
And like you really feel like you're dealing with like living, breathing characters, because they literally breathe life into them.
Yeah, and it's really cool because it, you know, it's like you get to watch this like every Thursday evening, you know, on Twitch. You get to go watch these guys play D&D, and they're smart too with their platform, because they realize how big their audience is. Like literally, if you click on a Critical Role stream, the number will shoot from like 2 to 15,000 within 3 seconds, and it literally is mind blowing. They know that they can't cater to everybody at that time, so what they do is what's called a rerun, and they'll have 2 reruns after their main live stream, so that people can still catch it on Twitch live, and then it goes on YouTube about 2 days later. And I'm like, that's genius. So they really trying to get as many people engaged as possible and reach all these different groups. Every Twitch stream is like 3-4 hours long at least. Some people will do like 12-hour streams, and I'm like, what do you do for 12 hours? How many times am I gonna pee in that time? Like that's what my brain's thinking. You know,
I've even seen some people do like 24-hour streams, or like I'll hear people push for a 24-hour stream, and someone will be like, no, don't do a 24-hour stream.
Yeah.
My one friend Austin tried to do one a few years ago, and I remember him. Like I talked to him like in the immediate wake of it. I'm like, how you doing, bud?
Yeah. I'll do an 8-hour. I think I'll do one 8-hour, because I'm able to, my last 2 streams except today, we did stop a bit short just because I was having a lot of glitching issues with my game, and I had to like go back and whatnot. And I also wanted to make sure to be in time for this podcast.
Yeah.
I had 2 streams that were over 4 hours, but they were both specifically like exactly 4 hours and 20 minutes. And I'm like, nice.
Perfect.
But yeah, and I have an average of 6.9 viewers too, which is cool. So like things are looking up for me.
That's awesome.
And how did you, like, I know you mentioned it before, but did you find it easier, like when you were starting to like build followers, a community? You said you found it easier like when you started working with your friends rather than just going like alone in the beginning?
The thing for me is like going solo, whenever you don't have a whole lot going on with the chat, you're like, well, what do I talk about? Well, it's just this video game that's in front of me, and it's just not as engaging for me, at least. I don't know about viewers. I don't really know what they wanted or didn't. And I also realized too, like I'm playing video games that are much, much older that other people have seen been played over 1 million times, you know?
Yeah.
And
that's fair.
so like, you know, someone's not going to want to watch Portal versus The Last of Us Part 2 that just came out, or Ghosts of Hiroshima that literally just came out, and everyone's playing that right now, which is awesome.
Yeah, I just remember that came out actually.
Yeah, everyone's playing that right now. It's really cool. It's a really cool game to watch. And we're still playing Fortnite. We're playing like the same game over and over again. But it's easier for me whenever I'm playing with somebody else, because at least there's someone I can talk to during that is sharing the same experience as me. And if we have 0 viewers, if we have 200 viewers, it really doesn't change how we interact with each other, but how we interact with the chat, you know, that's how that allows it to open up. But then again, if you get as big as someone like a Critical Role, like they really don't interact with their chat as much, just because it is like a full-on production. I mean, that's a whole different ballpark.
Yeah, that's kind of a different animal, because they're doing their own thing within that.
Yeah,
so.
They're basically, it's like, here's a live show, or like a semi-live taping. I think they even record their shows a bit earlier.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I don't remember. But yeah, they basically, interact with the chat very, very little. But, for us, we're so small. Like I said, we have very, very few people. I think I had like about 17 people tops in my stream today, which is honestly really great. It's very manageable to be able to chat with that many people at once.
Yeah.
Obviously, jumping in with someone like her who's a YouTuber, like she's coming in with a following. So it's a lot easier for us to grow.
Yeah. It also seems like you have a lot of loyal people who are coming back time and time again, which is really cool because you're building that core group of people who are going to watch you regularly.
Yeah, it's actually really cool. That's where we got all of our mods from in the first place, because there were these people that just kept coming back and watching our streams over and over. Michelle was like, oh, well, yeah, no, definitely, like, please be a mod. And like, I don't know anything about Twitch. Like, help us, please. And now it's like, oh, we do have regular people that will come and view and just watch. From there, being able to find ways to keep new people engaged or have new people engage and keep the engagement with your people that are constantly there, So you come up with different channel rewards, or here's a goal that I want to try and reach.
Yeah.
Today, I was like, all right, my channel points are called shields because I have, this whole Viking thing going on. So I want to build like a shield wall. If we can raise 40,000 shields, I will wear an entire Viking costume for the entirety of the next stream. We hit that within, I think it was like 20 days or so, or a little bit less than that. They were able to just donate their shields, and it costs no money to anybody. It's just like, here's something that's just fun and engaging. Or I have little things, it's like for 300 shields, and you get 10 shields for every couple minutes you watch or something. So it's easy to like build up on it, especially when you're watching it for hours. And I have a TNT mode where I just throw whatever grenades are on my person in my immediate area, tell my teammates, and hope for the best that we don't die.
Yeah.
My teammates hate it for obvious reasons. It keeps people engaged, especially when you're doing the same thing over and over again. So it's like, all right, how do we make things fun for the chat as well?
Yeah, I think that's super cool because like
great.
you have so many creative ways to just keep people engaged. You guys are already off on such a great footing, it seems. I've only watched you guys a handful of times, but it's a lot of fun.
Thank you. Yeah, we definitely have a great time doing it. It's really fun. And like I said, it's for me, the reason why I do it, it's not for the business side of it. It's not for the financial game. It is a dedicated amount of time every week that I'm for sure socializing and hanging out with people. To me, that's great because I am such an extrovert. For us to have this little community and this little campfire, if you will, that we all kind of come back to every week makes it so rewarding and so worth it. And I absolutely love it. Honestly, if you guys, I'm going to plug some channels here. Please follow Garrett Kennel.
Absolutely. Do it. Go away.
Yeah, please follow Garrett Kennel. He has the #1 corn themed Twitch channel on all of Twitch. He is the only one, but it's corn themed. It's amazing. Michelle Carre, also follow her on YouTube. And then Daniel, his username is ddouchebaggins. So it's all twitch.tv / and then those people's names. And then mine, I didn't even say my own channel name. I am Sound Shield Maiden.
And
It's
I love your
very
theme.
aggressively Viking and very sound related. That's my two interests.
I was gonna say that's all you.
Yeah, but it's been so much fun. I love coming back to it every week, and it's really great to even be able to talk about something like this on your podcast too, and just like, thank you so much
Well,
for
we're happy to
inviting
have
me.
you. Like you, we're starting out fresh. We're only a few episodes in, so
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
And I think you
I'm
hit
really
it
excited
nail
about
on the
this.
head too. Like Twitch is a campfire. I think that's like a perfect way.
Yeah,
Like when you
that is a
said
really
that just
good
now, I
way.
was like, yeah, that really is like it's a digital campfire almost.
Yeah, it is. I love it so much. Anyone can come to it at any point.
I think you should definitely play that up as a theme too. I think that could be really cool.
I think it's a great idea. I like that. Thank you.
That could be real cool. I'd for sure participate in that.
Right?
And what a way to tie in the Viking theme too.
Oh yeah, I love all the Viking games. The one I'm very excited about coming out next, Assassin's Creed. Yeah,
I was just gonna say.
Yes. I heard what they were doing with it.
that game looks so good. I'm very excited to play it. I can't wait.
I love the whole world around Assassin's Creed in general, but then you put that in there with it.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, that's like I know I enjoyed Odyssey so much because I really like ancient Greece to be able to be put back
Yeah.
right during that time during
What a
the
title
Peloponnesian
too.
War.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Like,
Yeah.
rolls off the tongue.
So choice. Alrighty, so I think that covers Twitch for us. Well, thank you so much for coming on today, Christina, and being a part of our show today.
Thank you so much, Christina.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. This was really fun, just getting to chat with you, hang out.
Yeah, good little session, and I was really happy that I could free up the time today, and I was able to watch your stream, and I hope that you guys continue to grow. It's such a great stream, and I love Zelda, and I love that I realized that you and I share that, connecting with people and finding things of mutual interest like that is so cool.
Yeah, it's really cool how there's such a massive world out there of stories and video games, because you can go so retro, or you can go to the latest thing, and you're always going to connect with a massive group. And I love how it's just, it could be someone on the other side of the world entirely, or someone from like your hometown that you haven't caught up with in a minute. And so I'm glad, like, you know, have these kind of conversations. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I mean that's what all our show is entirely about, is just sharing our love of storytelling. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Oh man, it's I was like, no, don't do it. Oh, not now. No, don't do it. And then it keeps coming on. And I'm just like, oh no, can they hear that? And I'm like, I'm gonna have to mute it.
It's like you have a fart that you're trying to keep in, but it's like the dryer.